We've all been reading news about returning illegals from the United States and how many of them happen to be from Punjab. There has been an uproar because they have been brought in handcuffs and so on and so forth. That's all old news. But how did things come to this? What really happened? That's what we're going to discuss now. And we're also going to talk about the danger of conversion that has taken over Punjab. So Punjab is getting multiple impacts. First of all, the 1984 Golden Temple tragedy and the militancy around that seemed to have died down a decade later, but then after that, things still have not improved. Once the rice bowl and the wheat bowl of the country, Punjab now finds itself in a big problem. People are not getting educated. Because they are not getting educated, they are not getting jobs. I can go on. All this and more in this in-depth look at what ails Punjab. And I request all of you to please like this video and also to share it with your friends and relatives and through all the media contacts you have, because we need to understand these are our brothers and sisters and they need our help. Why Punjabis lead Indian asylum claims in the United States? How bad is it? If you look at it as a percentage, Punjabi speaking people or people from Punjab are at the top with 66%. Hindi speaking people are at 14%, English 8%, Gujarati 7%, all the others are 3%. And there are, I'm going to give you the actual numbers here. The breakdown is right here. And we are talking about the numbers between a 20-year period of 2001 to 2022. We're not talking numbers. We're talking percentages of people who are seeking asylum. Now, why is it that there are such a high number of people who are seeking asylum? That was the seekers. Now let's take a look at how many have been actually granted. Punjabi speakers, 63% of the asylums granted. Hindi speakers, 58%. Gujarati speakers, only 25%. That is only 1 in 4. And this raises concerns over the inequality in the asylum process among different language groups. Now, this is also because for the longest time, remember, I've been talking about this, members of parliament from Punjab take some money and give a letter saying that this particular young youth is being persecuted for his religious beliefs, and then that is good evidence for them to be given asylum. And same thing goes for the other one, which is Hindi speaking. I don't know which region they were trying to do it, but basically even the lawyers who take up their cases in the United States, they were telling them to go and stand and participate in the Khalistanis agitation riots, not riots, but all these assemblages that used to happen, whether it was a Indian government's official function or if it's like a Independence Day parade, all these things, these people would come, and initially they used to just shout slogans, but then recently, last few years, they have been actually making very provocative statements, especially in regards to women, and that was brought to the attention of the authorities, and some action has taken place, but still it's a danger. Whatever it is, all these things are done deliberately, and everybody was told to go and be part of that and have their video taken, because then the lawyers said that you could submit that as evidence that you are part of this group and that you are being persecuted. It didn't matter that they had to be from Punjab or followers of a particular religion. So these things have been, so basically people are gaming the system. And only recently the judiciary in America has cracked down on this. In fact, I brought this thing up about a year ago in a monologue saying that judges should check and see if this is a fake letter, because there are a lot of people doing this fakery. Now, on the one side, you had all these things happening, but why was Punjab targeted? Punjab was targeted for two things. One was because it's a border state and Pakistan couldn't really defeat India in a war. They wanted to inflict 1,000 cuts upon India, and Punjab being the border state, and the border is pretty porous. Even though there may be a fencing and all that stuff, it is still porous because they have figured out a way to drop using drones, drugs and guns and ammunition and everything. And this has been going on for a long time. And consecutive government, whether it is Akali Dal with BJP support or Congress or the current Aam Aadmi Party, if anything, the law and order has slipped quite a bit. And so what has happened is that lots of money came in by way of drugs, by way of other things, and people have been induced to drugs. Like, I'm going to share some numbers with you. It's just mind-boggling how many of the youth in Punjab are affected by drugs. Now, this is one side. Then the other thing is that numerous NGOs, this is after they come into US or on their way to the US, they say that they will assist with legal migration, but they are actually involved in human trafficking. Crudely spoken, what is human trafficking? Well, some of these people can barely read, write beyond Punjabi. How will they succeed? How will they manage in the United States? They can't even. So who can they be? Who can be their employer? Only another Punjabi speaking person. How many are there? There are some large landowners. There are some large industry owners, but they don't want to have only Punjabi speaking people. And what kind of skill set do they have? Not much. What kind of education do they have? Not much. Some of them come and enroll in universities here, but they don't have the basic skill set to understand things taught in English, whether they are going to Canada or to United States. This is another problem. So all these degrees, all these things are being brought at tremendous cost to their families, and to what end? That's why they are ending up being in all these kinds of semi-legal activities, I should say. Now, while all this is happening, it's draining Punjab's economy, and it's also affecting the future of the state. The young Punjabis are being exploited. They are the primary targets, and often they are coerced into dangerous migration routes and labor exploitation abroad. I've not even talked about UK. UK is a much worse situation. They call it the Manja train, which is like, you can get into somewhere near Turkey. Then you basically, there is this EU zone, right? Once you somehow sneak into EU, people are holding on to something called as the trains, the compartments, underneath, that is where the rails meet the wheels. There is a bar that goes the entire length of the train, and they actually hang on to that for hours on end, and that's how they get smuggled. People know about it, the authorities know about it, they just were asked to look the other way. That is the kind of dangerous migration route some of them have taken, and they only stop after they reach two countries. One is Germany and the other is United Kingdom, where the facilities, the benefits are supposed to be better than the other European countries. All this stuff is known to all the parties that are in power or that have tasted power in Punjab, whether it is the Congress, the Akali Dal, or the Aam Aadmi Party. But they have failed to implement effective measures to curb this human trafficking. That's one problem. The other problem is there has been a steep increase in the conversions to Christianity amongst the Sikh community. They have targeted the Dalits in the Sikh community, and those are the ones that are getting converted. The Jats and Sikhs are not getting converted, but they want Khalistan. See, this is the problem. How is the state is getting buffeted by multiple conflict centers. In 2011, Christians constituted 1.26%, but now if you check, it will be substantially higher. Although many of them may not claim to be Christian because they may be drawing benefits. Remember, I told you these are Dalits, basically scheduled caste people. And if they are claiming benefits as a scheduled caste person, then they will never officially state that their religion has changed to Christianity. But what is the downside? I'll come to the downside in just a minute. The problem is that these things are now growing in clusters. One is Gurdaspur area, the other one is Jalandhar. Jalandhar has a history of its own. I'll talk about that in just a moment. And these are all happening outside the official records. Where it makes a huge difference is during vote time. They all are told by their church, because they were also on the dole in the sense that they were getting a lot of money for being a Christian. And that money, I'm hoping, will dry up now that USAID has cracked the whip. Funding from Khalistani supporters. I don't think that's going to go towards conversion in Punjab. It might go for other things, like, for example, to cause mayhem or something of that nature. So you have all these things happening in a melting pot called Punjab. Should the Punjab be brought under president's rule? I don't know, but I'd like your inputs. You can watch the entire video and then you can give me your inputs, because I'm really, really scared for the state. So the biggest problem that the state is facing is this stealth conversions. This means that there are people who are practicing Christians, but on paper they are still Hindus. Like I said, there could be scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and or other reservations who are also availing of these reservations, and that's why they don't want to mention it officially. I mean, I don't have a problem if you change your religion, but if your changed religion does not give you reservations, then you are stealing somebody else's reservation. That is a problem. So application of law and order uniformly is a huge problem, especially at the state level. I don't know when the Modi government is going to crack the whip and make sure that a citizen living in any state in India enjoys the same benefits in terms of law and order. Some Sikh leaders have expressed concerns about this potential erosion of their religious community, and Christian organizations, once you let them in, then they start talking about how the minorities are being attacked, all atrocities, this fake narratives that used to happen. US aid may be gone, the money from there may be gone, but I am sure in a year's time somebody else will fill the void, because the network is already in place. You cannot dismantle that network. They'll keep telling them, don't worry, we are arranging for alternatives. Like that, they'll run out 1 year, and whenever they are ready with an alternative source of funding, it will come back. I don't think Trump can have this kind of get aggressive approach for a long time. Things will slow down. I'm afraid unless you go and tackle it from the other side also, things will not improve. Now, what has happened is that the Khalistanis, who are spread across the world, they are also exploiting these migrants who come in. They'll give them, okay, they'll say, okay, you come and work in this field. I will give you the papers, that is the green card and asylum, and I'll take care of your asylum expenses and things of that nature. A lot of people have said that they are really overworked and underpaid. And sometimes, even if they do manage to have their passport with them, those things are also taken away from them. And the exploitation doesn't stop there. Fundraising events and donations often disguise support for separatist agendas. You know, one thing, whether it is Brazil or Cuba or Punjab or Bangladesh, the US aid funded rap singers who would talk about violence, guns, drugs, Khalistan. In Bangladesh, it was something else. In Cuba, it was something else. So this was a toolkit that was derived, and it has been put in play. And this, they should have noticed that this has been happening for 15 years in Punjab. The youth were all singing these songs. How many people now have come as singers? How is it that they got so much promotion? Was somebody underwriting the initial up and coming of the star? Okay, he had a good voice. But how did these people rise over so many, Indian Idol singers and Zee TV singers and Vijay singers? These are all excellent, talented people. How come they don't get that kind of exposure? Think about it. So there is a divide India by 1,000 cuts in play. The United States is also guilty of this. It's not just one or the other. In fact, I would say that it is the United States which was actually promoting Khalistanis to do what they were doing. And once that tap gets shut off, they don't have any oxygen left. Yes, the drugs are also being cracked upon by the Trump administration. I have a feeling that now this is going to come down, and I would not be surprised if Pannu gets extradited to India to stand in court for his crimes. And once somebody like Pannu gets deported to India, the SFJ and all that stuff is bye-bye. This has happened in the past. There was a guy called 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗪 who did the same thing. And he was, I think, a finance minister in one of the Punjab government ministries. And then he quit that, and then he went to UK, and then he went to Canada. He was the first, one of the first ones to talk about the Khalistan, blah, 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 and all that. And the man died a penniless beggar, I'm telling you. because after some time, all these people, once the ground support starts fading away, they just abandon you. And the same thing is going to happen to Pannu also. I have no doubt in that. Okay, so drug and cult culture have actually taken over in Punjab in terms of violence. Despite comprising only 2% of India's population, Punjab accounts for over 10% of the country's firearm licenses. People feel like they need guns to protect themselves. Between 2016 and 20, a 4-year period, the state reported 2,073 gun-related incidents, underscoring the widespread availability and misuse of firearms. I got to tell you one thing. Even for the Modi government, because this was happening in the border of Punjab, it took at least a year or so to find out that they realized that drones were actually sending guns, arms, drugs, and so on and so forth. The Uri incident was done that way only. It didn't arrive by ground, I'm told. So these things have had an impact. And now I said, like, the glorification of guns and violence in Punjabi music has been identified as a contributing factor to the normalization of aggressive behavior among the youth. In fact, you would have seen in social media even young girls just lying, in half stupor in the mornings, and the police is very, very careful about even touching them. They go and ask for a female constable or a female inspector to come and wake up the girl to ask where she is, because they were just on the road, didn't know where they spent the night. Things have really taken a turn for the worse. So the drug addiction problem is huge. It's not just men, it's also among women. It's approximately 15.4%, 1 in 6 of its 30 million residents. 1 in 6. In fact, there's a train that runs from Punjab to Rajasthan called as the Cancer Express, because these things somehow translate after some time into cancer. I don't have the relationship between the two. Maybe it is not just the drug, but maybe there is something else, maybe the food that they are consuming. I have no idea. See, once you know that something is coming from across the border, who knows what is being mixed and sent? We don't know. And these things have really not seen the light of the day. I don't think any Punjab government has really said, I'm going to get to the bottom of this problem, and I'm going to crack this thing, and I'm going to fix this thing. So because this anger has been kept alive, the 1984 Golden Temple incident, and this anger has been kept alive, and now it's 40 years. So at least 2 to 3 generations have grown up talking about it, being told the atrocities, completely forgetting the other side. What is really, really sad here is that the perpetrators, if you want to, attach it on one political party, were the Congress party. Yet they seem to keep winning elections. How is it that they have got the people to forget them? And then they train their guns at Modi. What has Modi done for the Punjabis? What has Modi done against the Sikhs? Nobody seems to reflect about this. Very, very sad that we don't discuss about all these problems, except for that one movie, thought-provoking movie called Udta Punjab. Not much has come out in the mainstream media. See, local gangs and terrorist organizations have intensified the state's security challenges. There is just Bishnoi gang, and there is the opposite gang. I don't remember the name. I think it is Dhaliwal, if I remember correctly. But see, Dhaliwal is a very common family name. We shouldn't say that every Dhaliwal is associated with it. Same thing with Bishnoi also. So be that as it may, there are violent gangs. They have gangster incidents, not just in India, but also in the United States, in Canada, where have you. So all these things are also happening. Punjab police is trying to crack down, but it's still, the incidents are persisting. 428 gangsters and dismantling of 111 gangs. Factors such as formation of criminal networks within jails and legal hurdles have impeded effective law enforcement. Now, if somebody is taken to crime, unfortunately, there's only one way out, and you know what that is. This is something that has become a huge problem, in my opinion. So this mass migration starts with them being asked to furnish some money, and in exchange for that they'll say you will get what is it, level 1 first class treatment or something like, meaning they said you will get a legal entry into the United States. That's what these people are taught to tell. And these brokers have spawned to even rural areas in Punjab, I'm told. And in February 2025, that is this month, the United States has so far deported 332 illegal Indian nationals, and 127 of them are hailing from Punjab. Collectively, these individuals paid over 43 crores. That amounts to approximately 34 lakhs per person, and in a failed attempt to cross into the United States. I can tell you the parties involved, that is political parties, they all know who are these brokers, because my suspicion is they are getting a cut from them and they are looking the other way. And this unauthorized travel agents who are charging exorbitant fees for illegal migration routes. Because why I say exorbitant is because they'll say, okay, I will get you this letter from MP, this MP, you'll have to pay so much money. Now 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏 is also an MP. Who knows how many letters he's writing from jail, right? So this is all network. It's easily known who's doing what, and yet the government seems to have not cracked down. I really don't know what Bhagwant Singh Mann is doing. Is he even governing Punjab? Because I've also, seen instances where he seems to like the bottle a lot. The enforcement is very, very lax, and no matter how much the opposition leaders try to emphasize that there should be concrete action and illegal travel agents and support should be, cracked upon, nothing has happened so far. People are complaining, those who have come back, that we are not getting any sufficient assistance or rehabilitation. You know something, you made this thing on your own. You did not take anybody's permission before you decided to leave for US and Canada, right? So why are you expecting help from the government now? I'm sorry to say this thing. You did it fully conscious of the repercussions. Did you not get rid of your passport as soon as you could? So you are basically a person without a citizenship once you lose your passport and don't apply for a replacement. You have to think about all these things. I've been saying this for a long time. In fact, I've been telling also for students who are planning to come abroad to study, I understand the need. Reservations have done a huge number on people who cannot get in despite having good marks. I completely understand. All I keep telling you all is do your homework, make sure that whatever it is that you're studying has a market afterwards, and that you should be prepared to come back to India, because things in India are much better now, much, much better. You just need to understand and stay focused on what you like to do in life, and you will succeed. It doesn't matter where. And I tell you, I've seen some of you, 10 people to a 2-bedroom apartment in San Jose, and it's not fun, guys. It's just heartbreaking. It's so much squalor. It's a dump in the place. People don't. They are supposed to take turns in cleaning. They're supposed to take turns in cooking. Half of the things don't happen. So you see pizza boxes strewn everywhere. It is just sad. It is just sad. What we have now are situations where, first of all, Punjab has fallen behind in literacy. Their economic prospects have fallen behind because this uncertainty about the politics of the whole thing for the last 40 years. Okay, it came down, and then again after Modi came to power, maybe because of US aid, maybe because of Pakistan also trying to do something. We don't know exactly the funders of this thing. US aid has been doing it, but is that all? How about Canada? Is Canada also doing this? Or is US aid giving Canada money and then Canada is sending it? Certainly, the big tap has been closed, even if for 90 days. Whatever the executive orders that Trump is issuing, these are what is the equivalent as ordinances in India, and these will have to be changed into law. So the Congress is going to have its hands busy converting all these things into law. Once it becomes a law, then even if a Democrat comes 4 years later, it will be very difficult to change that. So now what are the reasons why these migrations are happening? Economic prospects. The next one is unemployment. A study conducted in 98 Punjab villages, and all the reference links are provided for you. It found that 81.38% of the migration occurred between 2012 and 2021, with unemployment cited as a significant factor. So as if all this is not enough, we come to the case of this bishop of Jalandhar, whose name is Franco Mulakaal. Did you know that the complete Roman Catholic Church in India is all the people are appointed by Vatican? That India doesn't appoint its own bishops? I wonder why. It's now 21st century. Why are they having these apron strings tied back to Roman Catholic Church? We've heard so many things that have happened, that boys are being abused, nuns are being raped, and still nobody has actually taken any action. In fact, if you look at what happened in the case of Mulakaal, he finally resigned. I think Roman Catholic Church said, okay, step down, you've done enough mischief. What exactly did he do? This man used to be in Kerala, and I'm going to tell you the story because we have covered this extensively in PGurus.com. And no matter what happened, anyway, what happened, I'll tell you in a second. The reason I'm bringing it along with Punjab is because this actually offers a window for the state government to crack down all these conversion efforts. And then if they are only converted into Christianity for the last 5 years, there's a good chance they could revert back to Sikhism. That effort also has to be taken by the Sikh gurus. Save Our Sisters movement emphasized that his resignation is not a punishment as he retains his priesthood rights. What happened? Mulakaal was born in 1964 and he was ordained as a priest in 1990. He was 26 years old then. He became an auxiliary bishop in 2009 and a bishop of Jalandhar in 2013. In 2018 June, a Kerala nun accused Mulakaal of raping her 13 times between 2014 and 16 at a convent in Kottayam. Another nun also accused him of sexual assault between 2015 and 17. Finally, Mulakaal was arrested in 2018, the only instance where a Catholic bishop has been arrested for such charges. Unfortunately, in January 2022, the court acquitted Mulakaal, citing insufficient evidence. That means the nuns were managed. This is not half the problem. In Catholic Church, there is this thing called confessional. And in confessional, what happens is everybody is supposed to confess to their sins and seek solace from God. And this confessional is done in front of the church pastor, where the church pastor will be behind a door. But what has been told is that anytime women especially come and talk about their sexual crimes or deviant behavior or anything like that, these people start exploiting them. I've done a lot of stories in PGurus.com about how one guy who took the confessional of a woman, then he afterwards raped her. Then he not only did he do that, he took pictures of that. Then he circulated it among a group of his colleagues, and each of them ended up raping this woman. And she was married too. So all is not great in the community of Christianity in India. A lot of problems for them too. And I don't know how they are being addressed, really. And so far, this problem has not been completely solved. The Kerala government appealed that 2022 judgment, and the case is now under review by the Kerala High Court. But until that thing comes out and he gets completely convicted, he is still allowed to practice as a priest, and God only knows what else he's going to do. So these are all problems that are facing the people of Punjab. And let's get back to the problem of who is profiting from all these things. Human traffickers, fake NGOs, they are exploiting desperate. I'll tell you, even today, they are probably telling, oh, no, in 2 weeks' time, everything will settle down. Trump will be stopped by the court. They'll show some paperwork saying that this has been stopped, that has been stopped. Don't worry, this thing will continue again. No. As long as Trump is there, nothing is going to happen. No illegal immigration. There has been sealed watertight. And laws will be put in effect which will make it very, very difficult to illegally get into United States. I'm sure of that. I've seen situations about 15, 20 years ago when what used to happen was people would board the plane, like for example in India, with their passport and go through the immigration and all that stuff. and then once they are aboard the plane, they would flush their passport down the toilet. And then as soon as they are board off of the plane, they would go to the immigration and say asylum. If you say the word asylum, then they have to process you for that, and they won't ask you which country you are, what ask you for your passport papers, because once you find your passport papers, then they will not be able to do. There was some law like that. So you know what used to happen after that? Then there were flights that were known to do these things. So the immigration officials would actually come to the plane at the door of the plane, because the door of the plane is still on international ground. So if they find somebody without a passport, they will put that person back into the plane. You can't come. You'll have to go back to your native country and let the airline deal with it. So you know what happens now? In every international flight, your passport along with your boarding card gets checked 6 times or 7 times. It's irritating as heck, but it does get checked. And in fact, sometimes they get checked just before you board the aircraft. And this is because of exactly this problem. I think it has come down now, because I don't see customs officials standing near the door of the airplane now to look at passports in the United States. So some way they have figured out something. I don't know exactly what it is. Now, Western nations are using Punjabi youth as cheap labor, especially in Canada. That's what I'm told. Indian political parties are ignoring Punjab's crisis while profiting from its decline. Will the 𝗟𝗡𝗏 party and the principal opposition party, Congress, explain why Punjab is being looted like this and sold off? Will they continue blaming Modi while protecting the very mafias that are destroying the state? What is Modi's fault in this? What has he done? He has sincerely tried to pull up the state from its level of povertiness. You don't want to have a canal dug, the Yamuna-Satluj link canal. You are having water problems. Whoever is still there, they are having now 3 harvests. Then when it used to be only 2 harvests a year, because people felt that Punjab can grow rice for the problems of water in, like, for example, Kaveri Delta. So all these things are now beginning to come home to roost. I hope Punjab understands what the problem is. Yes, they should probably elect to have a government like the Bharatiya Janata Party. After all, now Captain Amrinder Singh has jumped parties and now he is part of Bhajpa. Sunil Jhakar, the son of Balram Jhakar, the former speaker, he is also in Bhajpa. So there are some good leaders from the other parties, of course. They were in Congress. One can wonder what did they do or not do while they were in power. I mean, especially I would ask that question of Captain Amrinder Singh. Be that as it may, we have a problem and we need to solve it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.